How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 15th of May 2021. Before I go into the analysis, the usual disclaimer: don't listen to anything that I say. Do your own research. Yeah, I'm just here to give you my thoughts and opinions, and more importantly, those thoughts and opinions aren't always right and they're not always wrong. It's just some thoughts and opinions. So try to use the information that I'm presenting to you guys to learn, how to do certain things, and if you can incorporate that into your own trading and investing to make you a better investor and a trader, then great. But my intention obviously is not to be a signal service, so just please be careful. So with that said, I just want to go over Bitcoin briefly. We'll do a little bit of analysis on CHSB, and then we'll call it a day. I will have another video posted later this evening at the time of this recording for KNC and REN, but I'll do that later. That's for the trading squad for the DAO, which I'm part of. Me and 4 other people. We do analysis for Swissborg, for the Swissborg DAO. So if you want to be sort of not necessarily part of that, but if you want to see that analysis and go through that analysis, then join the Swissborg Discord. You'll see the link below. And that's about it. So we'll get straight to the analysis. Now, for some bizarre reason, I've put 3 versions here of Bitcoin, and they all, relatively the same in terms of chart patterns and the actual price as it is. But for some reason, it's not showing the correct price over here. Bitcoin currently isn't at 50,370, for example. It's at 49,201. Okay, so we'll do the analysis based on the charts. We just kind of ignore this. I just had the other sort of 2 on there because I wanted to see what was going on, but a bit strange. I don't know, maybe it'll correct itself. So with Bitcoin, I said in my previous video, in the Bitcoin video that I did, that Bitcoin was looking like it was going to drop lower. Okay, and obviously it has. I posted some numbers, some ideas, the reasons why, and we've had a nice move lower. Now, since this happened, obviously, and I'll just quickly say, nobody can foresee what's going to happen, with tweets or influencers or people who have a large following that can potentially or supposedly potentially affect the price of Bitcoin or any other asset class. Okay, but I said the things that I said before before that happened, and I really want to emphasize this because I don't think people truly understand the difference between what is said online and the impact that potentially has on an asset class and the actual delivery of price and order flows. Okay, I want you to really think about something, and obviously the only way that I can say this is in a way, and I've said this so many times, is in a way that I sound like I'm being a bit of a dick or a bit of an arsehole, arrogant, whatever. But how am I able to foresee what's going to happen on Bitcoin and get that relatively accurate most of the time? Yeah, before these events happen. Yeah, if you notice the timeline that I go through, if anybody's paying attention, I haven't been talking about Bitcoin that much. I haven't said, I might do some loose analysis here and there, but it's not like I've been watching it every day and posting videos on Bitcoin every single day and we're watching every little blip. We're not. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, I just posted a video on Bitcoin. If you notice the timeline, you'll see Swissborg, 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 and then out of the blue, there's a video on Bitcoin. The question is why? Because the flows are showing that it's going to go down. I don't track the news. I don't keep an eye on what people are tweeting. I don't care. The flows are showing that it's going to go down. It was brought to my attention with the analysis that I do. And remember, what you guys see and what I do, are 2 completely different things. I'm giving you the simple version of the analysis that I do. I break down Bitcoin all the way back on all time frames, from the weekly all the way down to the 15-minute chart, to find the pockets of liquidity and where price has to go, based on the flows, based on liquidity pools, the imbalances, and so on. And that's what I saw when I did that video, and I said, right, Bitcoin's now on my radar. I believe it's going lower. It makes sense it's going lower. I'm going to wait. Once I see confirmation of that, I'm going to post a video, and then I'm going to wait for confirmation of what I believe is going to happen, and I'm going to use that information accordingly. And obviously, if you are in the Wealth and Trading channel over on Discord, the Swissborg Discord, you'll know that I posted a chart and I made a reference to this area here, and I also made a reference to this area over here where we currently are now. And I was saying, if price, I said, you know, if you're watching Bitcoin, yeah, pay attention. This is a good spot to accumulate. This is number 1, and I labeled this number 2 over here. And I said, if Bitcoin gets down to number 1, this is where this is what I'm looking for to potentially add. And then after this point, I won't do anything with Bitcoin until it gets back above. Okay, I'm not interested, Pepperstone. Wow. If it gets back above this level up here, then I will look to add again. Yeah. But in between those 2 points, I'm not interested in doing anything. Okay. Now, this is how you use information. This is how you, when you analyze the market and you're looking to do something, you don't say, okay, well, I'm going to grab it here, and if it goes to here, I'm going to grab it again, and if it goes to here, I'm going to grab it again. You know, we're not martingaling into Bitcoin. For me, it's a store of value. It makes sense, and I'm comfortable doing the investment strategy that I have for Bitcoin. When I'm looking to invest in something like CHSB, for example, it's a completely different strategy that I will add to every week and every month, because for me, there's a utility to that. This is a store of value. There's a massive difference, right? So these are the areas that make the most sense to me. Okay, I do believe that there's going to be some more downside. So the question is, why bother adding here? Yeah, because it may not happen. Yeah, there are obviously, you know, many scenarios that can pan out, but I'm comfortable to take it here on the off chance that we get a really nice reversal and it starts to run to the upside and add here. Or if it doesn't and it continues to go lower and I add down here, so let's say price does eventually go down to around about, I actually called 41 to 39, somewhere around that sort of spot, then I'm quite happy to add there as well. And then if it runs back up to the upside, then I'll add up here as well. For me, it really makes no difference. The only difference between the two scenarios in terms of accumulation is if it goes up first, I will miss this add, yeah, which would be a shame because I'd be quite happy to add down here. But it is what it is. But the flows are showing. I mean, you can see the. Try and get rid of some of these now. You can see how price has effectively, okay. You see how price. Wow, Pepperstone is really persistent today. We don't cut corners, just costs. All right. Fair enough. Well, I'm not interested in opening an account with Pepperstone. Being heck. I do you know what? One of these days, I might just get the premium version of this and just be done with it because it's amazing. You know, I do like TradingView. But you can see we've had a really nice explosive move to the downside. It doesn't really matter why. For me personally, like I said, guys, I see the flows to the downside. I see it before it happens, you know, and then I wait for confirmation. It's so important that you get that point. I don't just say, I believe it's going lower. The flows are telling me, so I'm just going to jump in. That's not what I do, and I've never done that. I look for flows, then I look for confirmation, then I look to accumulate, okay? With this particular strategy on Bitcoin. But we had a really nice explosive move to the downside. For me, I don't care why, you know, in terms of news and things. Then we're stabilizing in this area, and you can see that we dipped into this liquidity pool. Now, this area of liquidity has been traded through and accumulated, so any buy liquidity is gone. This area down here, this red box, effectively that's gone because that wiped everything out. So we can see the initial, sorry, not the initial, but the terminus of that move in terms of picking up liquidity was down here. Yeah, so there's still remaining liquidity down here, and there's definitely an imbalance over here, and there's definitely liquidity here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a note of this area down here, which is an area of interest. Okay, we'll just tidy that up a little bit because that's basically where it is. So there's an area of interest down here. Sorry guys, it's not. It's a little bit higher than that. I need to get the full body of the candle. Okay, so there's an area down here of interest. I'll be very interested, you know, to see price come down here. If it does, great. I'm very happy with that. If not, then whatever. Because the overall value of Bitcoin in the next 2 to 5 years is going to be much higher than it is now, in my opinion. And I'm taking a calculated investment in Bitcoin in terms of store of value, and in terms of the devaluing of currencies around the world, which I do believe is happening right now. So this is a good spot to be in. So if that happens, great. If it doesn't, and we stabilize in this area, then we need to see price move up a little bit. It is possible, and I'll show you something quickly. It is possible that we end up coming up to either here, all right, or here. All right. So if price runs up and it hits this area or this area, right, we could run up around about sort of the 54,000, then reverse and start to run lower again, and it would still maintain this downward momentum that it's got at the minute. But the overall, remember the overall structure of price right now is pretty much sideways. It's been a very broad range consolidation for quite some time, but there was a shift in flow up here as it ran back up, and basically picked up sell liquidity, and this drop here is the confirmation that in my opinion we're probably still going to continue going lower. So my point is, if it runs from here and stabilizes in this area and then reverses, then expect more downside, especially if it runs up and then it negates or reverses, okay, and ends up back down here after it's done that. Yeah, then we're more, I'd say 99% going lower, at least down here to 39 to 41. Yeah. So that's Bitcoin. Obviously, if it rips to the upside, great. We know where the accumulation point is, because if it passes this area, then it's going to go for all-time highs, and we'll probably see 70 to 75. Yeah. So that's Bitcoin. Let's jump over to CHSB and see where we stand. I'm not particularly interested really in Swissborg at the minute in terms of technically the flows. It is stabilizing down here. There's nothing special, there's nothing amazing going on. I think it's just a question of being patient again and kind of waiting for something to happen with CHSB. We had a nice pop here to the downside. It's obviously ended up down here, and I did say I mentioned this, and obviously I did say I wasn't expecting it to go down there, but for some reason, and if I'm correct, my words were, there's a little voice in my head saying, say it, so say it. Yeah, and I've always been like that. I have a very sharp, how can I say, so you guys, best way to say this, I trust my instincts, basically. That I think that's the better way of saying it. There was something in my head that was just saying, look, yeah, this may go down there again. So just mention it, just so people are aware of it, and they can act accordingly if needed. And I did say, if you're lucky enough to grab it down here, it won't stay down there for long, and you can see it hasn't. It's come all the way down here, and then it's just reversed and came all the way back up to, close to the 130s. So this was a beautiful spot. Again, I was expecting that it could happen. I wasn't expecting it to happen. And that's why I said, if you're lucky enough to catch it down here, then fantastic, right? So I hope that based on the information that I presented, somebody was lucky enough, or people were lucky enough to capture this moment in time. It was a fantastic opportunity, to pick up some more CHSB at some really nice levels. In terms of more upside or downside, I can't see. I mean, we have to clear this completely. If price really starts to go to the downside and gets rid of all of this, then dare I say it again, down here 45 to 50 is the area where we would probably end up. Say 50. It's a key area, 50. And I'm certainly not expecting that. I mean, it would require something pretty significant for that to happen. And obviously we have protect and burn, which is great. There's a lot of money in the protect and burn right now. And actually, while I'm with you guys, let me just see. Let's just see what the metrics are for the CHSB token, just in case something's been triggered and I'm not aware of it, which I don't think it has. Nah, the protect and burn currently sits at almost 1.3 million. So we're in a very, very good spot, on CHSB. And again, it's just a patience thing. it's waiting. Pick your moments. Don't keep adding at the same level. Don't keep accumulating in the same places. Trust the community. Sorry, I said that wrong. Trust the company. And as a community, keep each other positive. There's absolutely no reason to be negative about Swissborg in any way, shape, or form. Remember, you're invested in a utility token that has great utility. Yeah. If you are one of those people that are invested in CHSB because you want to make money, even as an investment, holding for a little while, and maybe when it gets back up to all-time highs, you get out again, you're still in a great spot. So don't worry too much. Swissborg is very strong. And again, we're going to have to kind of grind through that process now, like we have been in the past. This kind of sideways, monotonous grinding to nowhere really, and kind of frustrating people. And then obviously when we had this really nice move up, I can imagine a lot of people getting all excited, thinking that this was just going to keep going and going. And unfortunately, that's not what's happened. I've had a really nice steady pullback, and remember, look at the way that this has been coming back. It was dealing off liquidity on the way down quite efficiently, so it's nothing to be worried about. We've had a nice reaction from here and move away. The 128 level, I keep saying it, and I've said it so many times, and there are a few people that have picked up on the 128 level. It is a key level, and I was very, very, very surprised, that a couple of people picked up on that in the Discord chat. So seriously, man, kudos to you. I've had a few DMs with a few realizations, which is awesome. That's why I don't just tell people stuff. I let them figure it out, because trust me, the two people that picked up on what they picked up on and told me, they will never forget that, and they see it now. Yeah, that's something that I can't take away from them. If I just said, or if I just tell you some of the things that I go through, it doesn't stick. Because immediately, because you don't have the understanding there, what you try to do is you try to incorporate or implement what I'm saying as a pattern. Yeah. Well, when it happens, I'll just get in, and it just doesn't work, because you need a complete understanding of market dynamics and the way price is delivered. You can't just get in. Even people who use indicators, and even people who have different methodologies and strategies. Trust me, there is a mastery to that. There is an absolute understanding. You can't just say, well, stochastics is saying it's oversold, so I'm just going to buy. It doesn't work. And I know there's people out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you understand the overall dynamics of what you're looking at, the oscillator then becomes an indicator that can aid you in your entries. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with just because the indicator is saying it's oversold, then it's oversold. That's the difference. Yeah. So it really, honestly, I get so excited when I see people pick up on some of these things. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Again, we'll just let Swissborg do its thing. Obviously, if anything happens, we'll see it and we'll know. But so far, so good. It's in a good spot. It's stabilizing. We do have to clear all of this, for price to continue going lower. I'm not expecting that at all. So we'll see. So with all of that said, guys, I'm going to catch up with you guys later in the next video when I do for the trading squad for DAO. Hope everyone is having an awesome weekend. If I don't speak to you in the chat or the video, then I'm sure I'll speak to you either in DM or at some point throughout the coming week. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.